All right, let's get right into this explainer because if you own even a single note of foreign currency, you really need to be paying close attention right now. Today is July 1, 2026, and we're seeing a massive wave of new currency numbers spreading like absolute wildfire through the entire financial community. We're talking about figures popping up all at once on private screens, institutional spreadsheets, and underground forums, completely shifting the conversation for anyone holding the Iraqi dinar or the Vietnamese dong. But before you make a single move, we have to separate the actual genuine economic signals from all this deafening digital noise.
And this right here is exactly the kind of noise I'm talking about. Out of nowhere, this highly specific, frankly astonishing figure of $4.65 for the Iraqi dinar is suddenly everywhere. Literally millions of eyes are glued to this number, and it's sparking intense debates across every major online platform. Passionate folks in this space are naturally asking, is this finally the definitive green light from central banks? Or are we just looking at another highly coordinated wave of internet hype?
And right alongside it, we're seeing this remarkable figure of $3.82 for the Vietnamese dong. Now look, it's a completely natural human reaction to see a robust number like that and instantly start doing the math in your head. Your mind immediately jumps to massive potential profits, wiping out all your personal debt, and totally transforming your family's financial future. That emotional response makes total sense. But reacting purely on emotion instead of structural reality, that is the absolute biggest mistake an asset holder can make right now.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll tackle the viral currency rumors. Second, hype versus banking reality. Third, spotting financial scams. Fourth, meticulous personal preparation. And finally, long-term financial discipline.
All right, kicking things off with part one, the viral currency rumors. You see, staggering valuations capture international attention for a very simple reason. They're incredibly large, they're unusual, and they are so easy to share across social networks. But a massive number standing alone on a computer screen never tells the whole financial story. It definitely doesn't guarantee that an actual exchange process has kicked off at your local retail bank. So you've got to act as your own cognitive speed bump here. If your very first instinct upon seeing a huge number is to go out and buy a private island, pause immediately. Ask yourself, who actually generated this number? Is there verifiable documentation from a central bank? Or is this just a really confident guy posting on a forum? Because if it's the latter, it's just internet talk.
Moving right along to Section 2, Hype versus Banking Reality.
We're going to completely bypass the standard emotional thrill ride today because we need to focus on structural understanding. In the alternative asset world, confusion and misinformation spreads so much faster than cold, hard facts. Our brains naturally crave immediate answers, but in high-level finance, the truth is rarely black and white, and it literally never moves at the speed of a viral post. You really need to understand this technical difference. A theoretical benchmark is basically a sovereign planning concept. It might be a corporate contract negotiation rate or just macroeconomic speculation floating around a private network, but a retail exchange rate, that is a legally binding, active rate posted on a commercial electronic display board. Confusing these two concepts is a massive trap. If you mix these up, you might end up trusting a totally artificial timeline and making some incredibly poor real-world choices.
Think about it this way. Internet forums operate on instant gratification, emotional urgency, and unverified chaos. Central banks, sovereign treasuries, and international regulators, they absolutely do not operate at the lightning-fast speed of a social media post. They move with an extreme abundance of caution. A genuine international currency exchange process involves an incredibly dense, carefully choreographed series of logistical and legal steps. To put that into perspective, global banks drop over $200 billion a year just on compliance and anti-money laundering protocols alone. Real-world global financial systems are explicitly engineered from the ground up to prevent fraud and systemic money laundering protocols. We're talking strict anti-money laundering reviews, comprehensive compliance audits, mandatory waiting periods, and multi-layered executive approvals. These institutional roadblocks naturally slow the entire process down to a cautious crawl. So maintain a very healthy dose of skepticism toward anyone who claims the exchange process is going to be easy, instant, or guaranteed by tomorrow morning.
Which brings us to Section 3, Spotting Financial Scams and Protecting Your Assets.
This is the very real danger that emerges the absolute second a viral number gains traction online. Professional scammers study human psychology deeply. They know that many currency holders have been reading patiently for a very long time, and they explicitly design fake bank desks, fake documents, and fake executive contacts to weaponize your hope and your financial fatigue against you. Please, burn this golden, non-negotiable rule into your memory. If someone tells you that you need to pay a small administrative fee upfront to secure your spot in some special high-rate exchange tier, step away immediately. They might sound incredibly articulate. They might have highly professional-looking digital letterheads, but true global banking institutions do not depend on secret underground access sold through random chat groups. Please do not become a tragic statistic just because of a moment of emotional vulnerability.
And on top of that, under absolutely no circumstances should you ever photograph your high-denomination currency notes and send those sensitive images to unverified strangers or self-proclaimed online currency gurus. You need to keep your physical proof completely private. Double-check unsolicited messages, look up phone numbers, and verify email domains. A tiny bit of proactive caution today is infinitely better than suffering an irreversible financial loss.
Let's move to Section 4, Meticulous Personal Preparation.
It's time to shift away from the dangers of the internet and talk about the unglamorous but absolutely essential practical steps you need to take right now. People often get so blinded by the mesmerizing size of a potential exchange rate that they completely ignore the administrative side of actually owning the asset. But guys, a massive theoretical number on a screen doesn't help you at all if you can't legally prove what you own or who you are. So here is your immediate homework checklist. Step 1. Gather and safely store every single original purchase receipt and customs declaration form. Regulators are going to scrutinize that historical paper trail. Step 2. Verify that your passport and state IDs are completely current and that your legal name matches your financial paperwork perfectly. A simple clerical error can cause massive, indefinite delays. Step 3. Make sure your physical notes are kept in pristine condition away from moisture and sunlight, because commercial banks will frequently reject damaged banknotes.
Oh, and if you've decided to keep digital backups of your purchase histories, make sure they are saved on an encrypted, offline storage device. Do not leave your sensitive financial history just sitting in some insecure cloud account or lying around where it could be compromised. Meticulous organization keeps you safe and drastically lowers your personal stress long before any market volatility even begins.
And finally, Section 5. Long-term financial discipline and readiness. Let's say a massive currency conversion does become reality. It would absolutely never happen in a legal vacuum outside the reach of the law. There would instantly be incredibly strict financial reporting rules and massive tax obligations depending entirely on where you live. A truly responsible, mature currency holder doesn't wait until they're holding a multi-million-dollar bank draft to start asking basic questions about taxes. They proactively build their legal frameworks early. You need to be consulting with certified public accountants, tax attorneys, and licensed financial advisors to ensure total compliance. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about supreme professional readiness and protecting your family's legacy before a single dollar actually moves.
Always keep in mind that digital spaces are specifically designed to amplify unverified information until a harmless rumor suddenly sounds like an official decree. But repeating a fictional rate on a blog 1,000 times will never equal even one single grain of official institutional verification. Rely only on verified primary source institutional announcements, official banking paperwork, and formal government portals. Keep your feet planted firmly on solid ground.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to consider today. When the real, verified, sovereign signal finally cuts through all this digital noise, will your financial house be in immaculate order? Or are you going to be caught frantically chasing rumors while the disciplined investors smoothly navigate the banking protocols? It's time to abandon the online panic. Cultivate a bulletproof mindset of operational readiness, verify every single detail, and ensure you are fully prepared for whatever the global economy brings next.